I don't think we have any. We don't. You didn't have anyone. I'm going to give it to Lionel. Oh, is there someone here? No students. Okay. I don't want to. I don't like to pull them. Yeah. Did I call the meeting to order? I mean, it's so quiet. Okay, we'll call to order now. All right, thank you. All right, we do have a closed session to report. The board took action by a 4-0 vote to approve a workers' comp settlement agreement in the amount of $14,322.80 with employee LPSSN 4732 during closed session. All right. On that note, I am going to ask Trustee Talavera to lead us in the pledge this evening.
Please stand. Right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. Thank you.
Do you want to sing for us? No? I guess not. Okay. Dr. Hammett, would you like to do some recognitions? We have some exciting news.
So this evening, as part of our personnel report, we are announcing 2 new principals for our school district. Once the board takes action, they will be official. But I'd like to introduce them to our public and have them come up and say a few words. We were going to have them sing a song, but they seemed resistant to that. So I would like to start out with Julie Lucas. Julie will be our new principal at Fern, and I'd like her to just come up and say a few words and introduce her family to us.
Well, thank you. Good evening. I'm just honored to be elected and appointed this evening. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve Fullerton School District. I am beyond thrilled. Everybody's been so wonderful and welcoming already. I brought my husband this evening, my husband, Matt. He is a teacher and the head baseball coach at El Dorado High School. So we are definitely an education family. Thank you. And our son, Matthew, who will be a 7th grader at Teffrey Middle School. And then our daughter, Abby, is at volleyball camp this evening. She's going to be a freshman at Eldo. So I'm just very, very honored and very much looking forward to serving the Fern families and serving the district. And I'm just beyond thrilled. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to getting to know everybody even better. So thank you.
Thank you.
We're very excited to have Julie join our Fern Drive team, and we're excited because we went from one Julie to another Julie. So the transition won't be as difficult.
We don't have to forget her name then.
That's right. I would next like to announce our new principal for Nicholas Junior High, Jose Varela. Jose is going to say a few words and also introduce his family that he's brought with him this evening.
I thought you said I was going to sing.
You're going to sing. You're more than welcome.
Oh, feel free.
No, thank you. First and foremost, thank you all for being here tonight and giving me the opportunity to join Fullerton School District. I've heard some wonderful and amazing things, and I felt the love, and I feel everything that I've heard about Fullerton is real in regards to the cabinet, the employees, the board, everybody that I've met in this last couple of days have been nothing less than amazing. And so that just gives me a warm feeling in my heart that I made the right choice in coming to Fullerton. I'm looking forward to working with Nicholas. I heard some wonderful things about Nicholas. I've heard, not only that, I've heard about the wonderful support that Nicholas has. And I think, and I'll say this again and again and again, my plan is to make sure Nicholas becomes a blue ribbon school. That is my goal, and I'm hoping to make it. It's gonna make it right. Tonight with me is my lovely wife, Tricia. She's also an educator. Works with LAUSD, a literacy specialist with LAUSD. Thank you, babe, for coming and joining me today. I appreciate you, and from helping me make the decision and make this transition a lot easier. So again, thank you for being here today. It's an honor to be here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Berryman.
Well, welcome to our new administrators as we get to there. And thank you to the families. You'll get to know us. And thank you guys for allowing us to be part of your lives from now on. So sorry. I'll just apologize now. for anything over the next few years. Sorry.
And I'm remiss. I have one more announcement that I missed. I forgot to announce that Julie Brandon is our new Director of Special Education. And you all know Julie, so I think I'll spare her from saying a few extra words, but we're very happy to have.
Unless you want to. You want to say anything?
So we're very excited to have her join our team. As you know, Robin Gilligan moved on to be the director of our SELPA. So though she's not at Fullerton, she's still involved with our district as part of the SELPA. So congratulations, Julie.
Thank you. That just goes to show you can run, but you can't. You can't hide from us. You can run, but you're never going to get away. We will get you back. All right, superintendent. Oh, superintendent's report. Does anyone want to report for our superintendent over there, who is unfortunately had a death in his family and was not able to attend this evening?
Yes, was going to say Dr. Pletka wishes he could be here with us this evening. However, due to a death in the family and a funeral, he was unable to join us. So he sends his well wishes. This summer has been a flurry of activity. There is projects seems to be going on almost in every school in the district. There's been a flurry of hiring. Staff that works the summer has been incredibly busy. And we really look forward to a great school year. And we are looking forward. We're only 2.5 weeks away. Time is short. So August 15th, here we come.
All right, thank you. Seemed like it went really fast, didn't it? I remember being up here saying it's not summer yet, and then all of a sudden it was summer. It's not summer anymore. Okay, information from our Board of Trustees. We'll start down there with Trustee Sugarman. Ms. Hilda.
Oh, good evening, everyone. First, I want to offer condolences to the Pletka family. I know that this is a very difficult day for them, and we all wish them well. And next, on a happier note, I want to welcome our brand new 2 new principals. We are so excited to have found such stellar people for our schools, and we know that our community is going to embrace them. So welcome. And Julie, we know that you're going to give really good attention to make sure everything goes perfect for our students. And proud of your promotion also. This has been a really busy summer. I had the honor to go to several conferences. The first was with Trustee Bev Berryman. We went to Schools to Watch. And I think there you see, there we are, all of us. We had an amazing time there because the speakers were just wonderful. And we had a speaker from a middle school. He was amazing because he told his story where he was ejected from school and he had a horrible life and on and on and on. And he came back and he now has his PhD. And he is the principal of a middle school, and he's non-traditional. He's totally covered in tattoos. I mean, totally. And he rides his skateboard everywhere. And the walls of his school are covered with graffiti designs, but they're significant. And his school went from the worst school in the district to 90% of his students meeting the state requirements and the national requirements for their grade level. So it was very inspiring listening to him. And then last week I went to a CSBA leadership conference, and that was interesting too. And there I had the honor of listening to Dr. Rijos. And if you know him, you know that his story is something similar to the first story I told you. And he's now a college professor, and he had horrible grades and went to jail and all these wonderful things. And the reason I'm telling you this is when we see children who get in trouble, and there are those in the world who look at them and say, losers, bad, born bad. They don't understand they're kids. And we have to have faith in students that we can bring them around with the proper type of relationships, and relationships are everything. I won't bore you with all the other things, but I have shared some of the material with Dr. Lee because she always needs more to read. And it really was, they really were excellent conferences. I look forward to the end of this week being with all of the leadership of our school district at a in-service, I guess you call it, for all of us to set our directions, to reunite as one team working for our students. And I know that this school year definitely is going to be an improvement. And that's so exciting because normal is what we're looking for. We're looking for normal. So welcome back, everybody. And let's have a great 2022-23 school year.
Welcome again to our two newest principals. Pleasure to meet you and good luck. And I can't wait to see what you do. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of visiting the Gilbert Community Center. OC United is running a program primarily with students from Valencia Park and the surrounding neighborhood. And in tonight's agenda, we're looking at an after-school program with OC United. And so I think that the district is just doing a fantastic job working with our community partners. The city is renting the Gilbert Community Center for $1 a year to OC United. I think this is a nice public-private partnership, and the fact that we're working with OC United as well, I think is a great step. And so I look forward to, with this influx of TK, it's really modifying how we're approaching a lot of services in the district. And so thank you to staff for handling that so well.
So I also wanted to, share condolences to the Pleca family as well too, for their loss. I also wanted to kind of share a little bit about all the amazing summer programs that had happened over the summer, but also with Soulful that is still happening now, that ends this Friday at most of our Title I schools. So go on the lookout for that. If you haven't been to one of those school sites, I invite you to let those site leads know so you can take a look at the programming that's happening there. And then I also wanted to welcome the two new, Julie and Jose, welcome you all and to the district with open arms. But and then I also want to share to the public, please go introduce yourselves to both Julie and Jose. They're some amazing people, and get to know them a little bit more. I will be visiting both schools as well too, just to get to know you. I'm pretty hands-on, but I'm pretty laid back as well too. So just welcome you, seeing how we can support your vision, your goals for those two schools. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. I won't repeat anything, but a couple other things. I just wanted to thank all of our staff, especially our classified staff, for what they have done over the last few months. I mean, all year long. But when we talk about summer getting stuff done, if you're driving around and looking at campuses and seeing what's going on, you'll see that they're busy. There's always cars in the parking lot. There's always people getting stuff done. So we know that it's the time where, it's that invisible work that's done that no one sees. And we really, truly, truly appreciate it. And we'll see a lot of the stuff that they've been working on in our presentation coming up. Trustee Sugarman, you talked about normal. And I think that we do have to remember that normal is no longer normal. It's a new normal. And as we look into this year and as we look at all of our students and all of our staff members and even our parents and families, there's been so many things that have happened during COVID that we have to remember that even though we're starting school and it seems like it's, everyone's back and there's no big deal, what you see out here, our kids and our families and our staff members are struggling, and that we really have to look at what the new normal really is, because I don't think it's ever going to be what it was. It's just trying to pivot and trying to make things work. And there are things that happened during COVID that were great, right? I mean, we started our homeschool program. We started my FSD Academy. And those are things that I think as a board, we had been looking to do for many, many years. that you never had the money, right? We wanted homeschool, we wanted these new programs, and we just didn't have that money. And so when this came in and we started new programs, some programs are here to stay, and they serve a population of students that we weren't able to serve before, or that have had to change because of the circumstances. So I'm looking forward to our new normal, and I'm looking forward to this next school year, knowing that everybody has been working very, very hard, and that we're here to support, and that we're looking forward to that as well. And we'll take on our new year. So thank you. We'll move on to our information from our associations. Do we have anyone from DLAC here this evening?
We do not, President Berryman. We only have CSEA speaking tonight.
All right, then we'll just go right on to CSEA. No one wrote in anything this time, huh?
Hello, I'm actually speaking for Tanya Balek, so these are her words, and I don't want to take credit. But good evening, Dr. Balek, President Berryman, best members of the board and cabinet. As our summer break heads into the last few weeks, we hope everyone was able to get some rest, as well as some important family time. CSEA has continued to support our district with our summer programs, including ESY, STEM Camp, Extended Play, Speech and Debate, as well as Summer Arts Adventure Camp. CSEA is very happy to know that we can support our students in so many ways. As soon as these wonderful programs ended, CSEA classified employees jumped right back into getting ready for the next school year. So many of us have started to gather science kits and textbooks. Others have joined forces with M&O staff to support the beautification project with gardening and painting many campuses thus far. I would like to also throw in that our business department and payroll, purchasing, our M&O office, we've all been working really hard on starting our year-end closing. But anyway, we would also like to take a moment to thank Dr. Robin Gilligan and Melissa Greenwood for their support of CSEA, and we wish them luck and success in their new roles. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on. Do we have any public comments?
We do not have any public comments. No one submitted anything since 6, so just wanted to make sure. Yeah, we do not have any public comments tonight.
And we'll move on to approving our minutes. Do we have a motion to approve our minutes from June 21st?
I so move.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve our minutes from June 21st. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. All right, we've got our agenda approval. So anyone want to approve the agenda as it has been presented?
I'll approve the agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve our agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Then, hold on, because I think we're now doing a presentation and then going back to consent. All right. Dr. Hammett.
All right, and Anna will pull up our presentation for us. We are very excited this evening to be able to make a presentation to the board on our safety plan reviews and what we do here in the Fullerton School District to ensure safety. There we go.
We have all kinds of places you can look.
Plenty of places to see the presentation. So our safety plan, what we really want to emphasize is that our safety plan is a multi-layered approach. It involves district staff and it involves our community. And what you're really going to notice about this presentation tonight is the number of people coming forward to provide different parts of this presentation, because safety is not one person or one department, but it's a whole district approach and it's a community approach that allows safety at our schools to happen. So we'll really be focusing in tonight in 3 areas regarding our safety plans. First is in the area of physical or facility safety. And what do we do to what they call harden our facilities to make sure our facilities are prepared and safe for students? Secondly, we'll be talking this evening about social emotional supports. As we know, from what we've seen in the news and what we've seen happen throughout our country, student and adult social emotional issues are a big part of safety. And we want to make sure that we have plans in place to address the social emotional supports. Also this evening, we're going to be covering technology and how do we use technology to help make sure that our schools are safe. And as students use technology as part of their learning tools, how do we make sure they stay safe while they're using technology? We're very excited to be able to make this presentation, give you some more insight into what it is that we're already doing and what we're enhancing for the coming school year. At this time, I'd like Lori Bruno to come forward and announce those individuals who will be presenting this evening.
Good evening. I'm Lori Bruno. I'm the Director of Risk Management for the Fullerton School District. I just want to say I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to the board and also talk to the parents out in the community about our safety plan for the upcoming year. I wanted to introduce, as Dr. Hammond had mentioned, I wanted to introduce the team. Safety is not just a party of one, it's a team. Today, we had our first meeting this year where we reached out to our local partners to talk about this plan and what we intend to do moving forward. So just for the sake of introduction, tonight you'll hear from Dr. Rob Coughlin, who is our Assistant Sup of Business Services. You'll hear from Dr. Helene Morris. She is our Director of Child Welfare and Attendance. You will hear from Dr. Julie Brandon. I feel like I need a doctor. I think I was a doctor of I was the MD of the CDC the last 3 years. But today you'll hear from Dr. Julie Brandon, and she is the newly appointed Robin Gilligan in Student Support Services. We will also hear from our Chief Technology Officer, Jeremy Davis. We'll also hear from Director Joshua Holmes, who works in our technology field. Although they're not speaking tonight, they're an integral part of our team, and that's our Director of Facility and Maintenance, Scott Schlops, and our Director of Transportation, my friend JD Mancha, and also my friend Mike Adams, Director of Purchasing. We are a team for safety and security for your students. Okay, I'm going to introduce them when they come up.
So we first want to start off talking about the physical facility safety at our school sites. Over the summertime, we're working towards a single point of entry at all of our campuses. What that means is during the school day, anyone coming on the campus will be a single point of entry through the office. When school is not in session, the school is opened up. We want the community to use our fields and we want them to use the school. But for the safety of students and staff during the day, single point of entry. So we have been working this summer with our architects, getting plans into DSA to get this to go as fast as possible to make sure that we're going to have to add additional fencing at some of our schools. We're looking at raising fencing a minimum of 6 feet. We have some schools where it's 5 feet. So we're working on that over the summertime, and that's a process that we're going through. For our doors, we are looking at a policy, and many of our teachers already do this, but we're looking at instituting and having a board policy which says during the school day, doors are locked. And there's a way to do that with a thing called a lock block, where your door is locked at all times, because in the event of an active intruder, we don't want to open the doors and have to use a key to lock the doors. Time is everything. These doors are not like doors at your house where you have a lock on the inside. The only way to lock them is with a key. So we're looking at that. We're also looking at window coverings. We know the importance of having if an active shooter is on your campus, it's important that people that are in the classroom, students and staff, are not visible. So we're looking at installing coverings that during an emergency will come down. When there's not an emergency, we actually want for light to come in, and we want that to come in. But during an emergency, we want those to come down. Security cameras. Josh is talking about security cameras. Okay.
So a quick update on our security cameras. In the last 2 months, we've been able to successfully build our server that manages all the cameras, and we've been able to successfully install the camera infrastructure, and that infrastructure being the conduit, the cable, and the wiring that connects to the network on 17 of 20 of our schools. So why that's important is because the camera infrastructure is most laborious part of the project. It's the only area that really can obstruct teaching and learning because of the construction and how loud it is. And so we're projecting to be completed with all the camera installations this December this year. And that'll cover entrance, exits, and any other areas of concern that we designated. So moving to our communication enhancements, there are some things that we've already done, and some things that are taking place soon. Starting off, if we were to lose communication, all communication to be lost, we have now made arrangements so our satellite cameras are placed. We have satellite phones placed at every single school site where we've trained and made sure that they're tested and everyone's ready. Regarding our actual website, we've enhanced our website. So now that our Blackboard communication has extra features. So if we had to ever do a emergency response communication, it not only goes to our phones, to our texts, and to emails, but actually goes to the website easily because now it's integrated. And then finally, we're looking at implementing network phones throughout the district. And what that's going to really enable is that our admins and our principals now can make all calls anywhere on site and also off site. And if there was ever a 911 call, we have now the ability to easily give the responder the location of that room that calls 911. Now, security technology.
Thank you. One of the things that we know is really important is getting good information out to our parents. We want to be right, not fast. And so some of these, we want to be fast, but we want to be right because we know that information can get out fast. So what Josh is talking about is really going to be a game changer in our schools, and we're really excited about this. When we talk about communications, I also want to just share with you that we do drills on a regular basis for communications. We just implemented satellite phones, which is really great, but regularly Mike McAdams and I do radio drills and call outs randomly throughout the day to make sure that people can communicate with the radios. So we also feel good about that. So we have the high tech, and then we have just the basic brick and mortar radios that you see out on the campuses. So we feel really good. One of the other things that we feel good about, and we've done this, we started this in probably 2013. Fullerton School District was one of the first districts in Southern California to implement what's called Raptor. And many of you may know this already because you've been on our school campuses. What that is when parents come on to our campuses or visitors come on campuses, we want to make sure we know who's on our campus. So what happens is we have a single point of entry and we ask parents to check into the office with a driver's license. We scan that driver's license. It's checked against a national registry for sex offenders or any outstanding issues that would prevent them from being able to be on a campus. And then we are, from there, we providing that everything's fine. We have them issued a pictured ID badge. So we know that, just giving a looks view out on a campus, we know who's checked in with the office. This is just one part of our physical facility safety plan, is knowing who's in our space and that they belong in that space.
So I would like to add, one of the things Josh talked about was the installation of the cameras, and I heard him say December, and that seems like an awfully long time from now, and we're going as fast as we can. There are supply chain issues, especially with technology and getting these cameras. So we're doing what we can now. We've got things ordered, and so that's the process. There's the same thing with the fencing. There's supply chain issues with getting wrought iron and chain link fence, and we're moving as fast as we can. Some of the other technology that was on the slide up there, we're looking at different security technology techniques and things that are done in private industry. We're looking at all those. We're exploring them. We're not sharing them, obviously, with the entire community, but just know that we are looking at other measures. I know when you go to the airport, they don't advertise everything that they have there, right? So just know we are looking at many different avenues. As Lori talked about, we have this Raptor system because sometimes there's We're not just talking about active shooters on campuses. There are other types of, sometimes people come on campus that we don't want. Sometimes there's other emergencies, right? Safety is not just about active shooters. There are other emergencies. And one of the things that we're looking at is the creation of these community engagement centers at the junior high schools, large gymnasiums, if you will, but also places that during an emergency, earthquakes, fires, reunification centers, places where students can come and be safe and the community can come and be safe. Oftentimes we've had in many districts where there's fires in the community and they send the homes. This would be a place where the community could come. So we are looking at those, potentially opening them in 2024. And so we're pretty excited about that. Again, the safety plan that is a multi-dimensional plan.
In addition to the facility part of our safety plan, we know the value of making sure that employees and volunteers and substitutes receive safety training. Many of you, as I look out, I know have been in my safety training. And so just as we've done previously, we'll continue to offer staff training. And I have a couple of our community partners here tonight to share some of the specifics, but just some of the highlights include fire, earthquake, intruder, monthly for students and staff. I just want to share with our parent community, we are required to do regular drills in all of our schools, whether it be, as Rob had mentioned, whether it be fire, lockdown, shelter in place, earthquake training. We are required to do those types of trainings and drills every month, depending on, there's a different frequency depending on whether or not they're middle school or elementary. So really, that's not too much different. We're just going to continue and add to our program. One of the things, as I mentioned, I've seen some of you in our Knowledge Saves Lives training. We brought one of our partners here tonight to kind of share what that is. That is really simulated live drills for an intruder on campus. One of the things I'm really excited about is to bring our noon duty and playground supervisors into the mix, training them about how to be active and alert supervisors out on or in the campuses. We will also do, as part of our team, some emergency preparedness leadership drills. We've always done this, and I want to say that this is not new to us. But when I talk about the emergency preparedness, parent reunification, these are all terms that you've been hearing in the news, and I want to let you know we are not stranger to those terms. We've been practicing them. We don't take anything for granted. We continue to fine-tune these processes and these terms that you're hearing: parent reunification, crisis communications, incident command. These are all things that, as our team here, besides training the staff is only as good as the leadership that is at the top. And we feel training amongst ourselves is just as important. So that's what you're going to see there. One of the other things, a new ad, it's not really a new ad, but it is bringing them into the fold of it, is our eyes and ears, our safety monitors. In our middle schools, we have safety monitors that really act as eyes and ears on the campuses. They're there to build relationships. They're there to see physical conditions if they change. They'll do some of the checks reporting into their site administrator. Really, what I want you to walk away with is knowing that there is no one person responsible for safety. It's all of us. And so you'll see this in our plan. You'll feel it when you're on campus. So this is just a big part of it is safety training, but it complements with what we're doing with our physical facility initiatives.
Good evening. At our April school board meeting, you heard about our social emotional learning, teaching and learning story of bamboo. And this story connects with a broader body of work to provide a comprehensive and safe learning environment. So I am going to touch upon 9 key components. The first is Second Step Universal Tier 1 curriculum. And it's a universal tier 1 program. And so that means that the CEL, I'm going to be referring to it as CEL, program is taught to all FSD students, grades pre-K through 8. And with the exception of pre-K and TK, the entire program is digital. Next, we have our research-based CASTLE framework. And the Second Step program and FSD's work with social emotional learning is rooted in the framework from the Collaborative for Academic and Social Emotional Learning, or CASTLE. And the CASTLE 5 competencies address 5 areas that are interrelated: self-management, self-awareness, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and social awareness. Third, we have our social emotional learning, CEL TOSA. And Second Step lessons are typically taught every other week. And during the 2021-22 school year, students received over 6,500 lessons. And members of our CEL team have been to every school and have taught over 125 lessons. This is from this school year that just finished. And our CEL TOSA personally taught over 80 lessons. Next on the list, we have professional development and coaching. We've been fortunate to be able to share Second Step and CEL lessons in the classroom and beyond. And we've provided professional development to our administrators, school sites, teachers, office, and support staff. Following that, we have PBIS in action. Fullerton School District has the highest level of platinum level schools in the entire state of California. We have 12 in total. And during the 2021-22 school year, our PBIS coach provided more than 175 coaching sessions. And for the first time ever, all of our school sites have applied for gold or platinum levels of recognition with the California PBIS Coalition. So we look forward to recognizing these schools in the future at our September 2022 school board meeting. Following that, we have our lead counselor and school counseling. During the 2021-22 school year, we added a lead counselor to increase counselor collaboration, community, and professional development for our school counselors. And our school counselors really help our students understand themselves and others in order to help them with responsible decision-making, to reflect on their own behaviors, to support academic learning and development of positive coping skills. And then the delivery of direct services is given through classroom settings and either small groups or in individual counseling. Next on our list is the Student Success Mentor, or SSM. And the Student Success Mentor position was a new addition to Ladera Vista for the 2021-22 school year. And on a daily basis, that mentor runs whole class, conflict management, or friendship building restorative circles. And students set goals, they connect behavior to academics, and they work with the site counselor. And we have 88 students for 7th and 8th grade that were placed into Ladera Vista's program for the upcoming school year. And our Student Success Mentor also articulates to our feeder elementary schools to really help with that great transition from elementary school to junior high. And then to support the work of our Student Success Mentor, we have Student Success Liaisons at our 3 comprehensive junior highs. And finally, the last and 9th point I'd like to make here is stakeholders, parent groups, and partnerships. In our work around social emotional learning, we strive for transparency and open communication. We presented on various CEL topics at our Champions for Children conference, DLAC, ELAC, Council PTA, LCAP, and other stakeholder groups. And we're expanding parent engagement opportunities for the 2022-23 school year. And next, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Brandon, who's going to talk about how we go deeper into this work.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. So Student Support Services, we build on the supports that are provided by all of our classroom teachers. As Dr. Morris mentioned, all of our students receive Second Step. As we know, sometimes students need a little bit more support, and that's where we step in, because we truly believe that we want to help all of our students access the curriculum. So social emotional counseling is available at all 20 of our school sites. All of our counseling supports are educationally related, and what that means is that we focus on how social emotional counseling and supports help students access their education in a school setting. Examples can include, but aren't limited to, different events like Lunch Bunch that's on campus, where students are engaged in activities that include social skills and positive coping strategies. We feel very strongly about teaching our students, if they see something, to say something. Crisis counseling is considered to be more short-term. It addresses students in crisis situations to help them achieve some sense of control after traumatic events. Crisis counseling can also include risk and threat assessments. We also want to make sure that we provide support and counseling for students to report crisis situations, because we know that it could be very traumatic for them to do so. One of the things that we're very proud of is our outside counseling referrals through our partner Care Solis. Last year alone, we had 586 warm handoffs. So that means we connected 586 people to Care Solis. And out of that figure, 316 appointments were made. And when I spoke with Care Solis, they were very impressed with our percentages of being able to not just refer people, but the people that actually took advantage of the counseling. So we're seeing great successes, and we're very proud that we can offer that to our students and their families.
Incredibly well done for being in the job for 6 minutes. All right, a little bit more on the technology. And one thing I do want to make sure everybody knows is that you might be hearing these things and saying, oh, is this all brand new? And most of it's not. Most of the things that have been in the works for a long time. Like when I first got here 3.5 years ago and found out every site had a satellite phone just in case. I was like, wow, that's like a step above. Great job. Let's keep going. Let's refresh those. What was that?
Healthy paranoia.
Yeah, it's good. Absolutely. No, it's good. So like the security cameras, we wrote the COPS grant about 1.5 years ago. So we got actually matching federal funds, 75% on the security cameras. It just takes a while to get the walks done. And we were very appreciative of the Fullerton Police Department coming out and doing some of the walks with us to get a different set of eyes on where our cameras should be located, along with our site administrators. Going deeper into technology, a few things. We are Common Sense certified every year for the last 4 to 5 years. What that means is that every child has received digital citizenship lessons, at least one, but we do 3. We've built out a matrix for every teacher where kindergartner, first grade, all the way up through, they scaffold through a number of different lessons on digital citizenship, but it also includes cyber safety, which is vitally important at these times when we're hearing about trafficking, we're hearing about all kinds of things that are happening out in the community. So children are learning all the way in kindergarten. We don't do trafficking, but we build on what does your identity mean? Like, what does it mean to be a person online? And then you look at these lessons, they scaffold all the way up till 8th grade. We feel very good about that. We feel very good to have received this accommodation from Common Sense Media. We do provide staff development on cyber safety and on digital citizenship to our parents and to our students and to our staff as well. Josh behind me did a phenomenal presentation at our Champions for Children. And what we're doing with that is we're actually going to turn it into a video that can be shown to any parent group, or you can always book us to come out. We're happy to talk to DLAC or Champions or to the PTAs, myself or Josh or other members of our tech team. And then there's hardware. And hardware is vital and important. There's actually 3 different board items tonight that talk about hardware. One is content filtering. Content filtering is as the students try and search for things they shouldn't be searching for, they get blocked. And it actually stops them from seeing things that are inappropriate. And there's a delicate dance on how to do that. And we have some great technology that's countrywide and worldwide, and it's able to block appropriately. And we're happy with what we have. The firewall is actually securing our data. That makes it so bad actors from the outside trying to access our students' data are blocked. It's called Palo Alto. You'll see that tonight. That's one of the things we're renewing. We've been using for years, and we are continuing to upgrade and renew. And last is data backup security, because we really never want to have a ransomware incident. You might have heard on the news, a lot of school districts get hit with ransomware. So even one of the items tonight is an upgrade to the way we've been doing our backups. We have backups here and over at the Orange County Department of Education, and also some in the cloud in case of earthquake. We want to do business continuity, but there's a new technology we're bringing on board that will actually let us find any piece of our backup that might have been infected with ransomware and be able to actually pull it down and look at it without the ransomware being able to infect it. It's called Immutable. It's a really cool new technology that's come out in the last 1.5 years or so, and we're going to be bringing it into our backups for the district. So we feel just incredibly solid about our data backups for our students and protecting them in all kinds of ways.
All right. So not only do we train our staff and our students and our teachers, but we also are going to be providing ongoing training to our parents. And this fall, we'll really be focusing on providing 8 training sessions to our parents, 3 on intruder and threat assessment. And what does that look like for students at school, and what do parents need to know, and how can parents be involved? We'll also be doing 3 training sessions, 1 at each junior high, because our junior highs are centrally located, allows our families from the feeder elementary schools to attend. We'll be training parents on social emotional supports for students and families. What happens when your child starts to exhibit signs of social emotional trauma? What are resources here in the community that can help you if it seems that your child's having some social emotional concerns? What are things families can do to be more healthy in the social emotional area? We'll also be providing 2 parent and family trainings on technology and cyber safety. What is it that your child's really doing on the internet when they're at home? And how can you make sure that they're going places they should be on the internet, and they're talking to folks that they should be and that are appropriate for them to talk to? We also are very excited because soon we are going to be launching a new FSD website. And as part of that website, we will have very prominently a safety resource page for parents. We will have some revised and some updated resources on that page. For example, WeTip. I know WeTip, as often viewed as kind of a fill out a comment card and drop it in the box. WeTip 2.0 has been very updated and will allow for very good reporting out of if you see something, say something. The other thing we'll be doing is launching right away the Be Smart campaign, which is a campaign for parents who may have firearms in the home to make sure those firearms are locked and students are safe. And we'll be launching that and sending out a district letter in regard to that as well. We also will have resources for parents on social emotional support. Where do you go if your child needs counseling? Working with Care Solace and some of our other community partners. Our new website will be chocked full of resources for our parents and for them to be able to access and use to help in all areas of safety and security.
It is an honor to introduce one of my partners, the Fullerton School District's partners, PJ, coming up. This is PJ Guida. He's the chief principal of Knowledge Saves Lives. He's a safety partner for the Fullerton School District. The company Knowledge Saves Lives specializes in security. We have been working with them since 2015.
That's right.
PJ, come on ahead.
Thanks, Lori.
And share with us.
Thank you. Students, parents, staff, cabinet, thank you for being here. We were in this room not too long ago with your transportation staff doing some wonderful training. It was a lot of fun. Some of us are still recovering from the transportation jokes that came up, but it was a wonderful experience. And we have a relationship with not only Lori, but the Fullerton School District, and that's what it's all about for Knowledge Saves Lives. On behalf of our CEO, Paul Yanes, I'm here to talk to you about Knowledge Saves Lives and the partnership we've had. Fullerton School District, I hope you know this, and if you don't, I'm going to tell you that you are the gold standard when it comes to safety and security up and down the state. We have about 30 or 40 employees. We're headquartered in Merced. We have about 10 instructors down here in Southern California. And by way of introduction, I was a law enforcement professional for 31 years. 31 of those years were with the Santa Monica Police Department. And I received accolades for SWAT and internal affairs and community relations. And I even got an award for starting our first youth and family services. But the reason that I was hired by Knowledge Saves Lives is because my wife is a 35-year administrator for a large metropolitan school district just north of here, somewhere up to 5. And both my daughters are special ed teachers for the same metropolitan school district north of here. So it's a personal thing for me when it comes to why and how we provide this training. It's all about time and distance, the time that it's going to take your staff to call your wonderful premier law enforcement Fullerton Police Department to come to, and they will be here very quickly, that time and the distance between them and the intruder. That's all we teach. It's very simple. Now, we could put an entire wall with razor wire around the city of Fullerton, and you'd probably be pretty safe, right? And then we could do an internal wall around all school districts and all schools in Fullerton. But kids aren't going to feel safe. The way that you're going to do this is through that relationship with your children and the people that are you're teaching for the new principals as well. And you know this, but when it comes down to it, it's about that relationship, and it's a layered approach. You probably don't know this, but there hasn't been a child really lost in a fire in over 50 or 70 years in a school in the United States. And that's because there's great fire codes that have happened and have been created to protect children. And the way that we approach this in our training is through that relationship, the trust that we have with Fullerton School District, and it's similar in the way that we approach it. How many of you remember going to the airport and just walking in? My father probably remembers going and smoking on an airplane at one time, right? And things have changed, and that's what we're going to do. And we're now taking it to another level with Fullerton School District and with Lori, because now it's a comprehensive approach. It's not just training that we're doing, transportation, your staff, your teachers, and teaching them that time and distance. What we're doing now is we're teaching security staff. We're looking at your emergency operation plans. And it takes a lot of courage for a school district. Trust me, I came from Santa Monica, nothing against them, but it was a different time 20 years ago, that in terms of trusting an outside vendor to come in and look at your plans and telling you, Lori, and risk management and cabinet, that these are things that you need to improve. And that's the type of trust that we have with Fullerton School District. And believe me when I say this, and I'll close with this, and the best practices that we have, it's about trust, right? They trust us, we trust Fullerton, and we have taken some of the lessons learned in Fullerton School District across the state. So we are from Northern California down to the south, and we're very busy, you can imagine, in the last few months, and people being interested in this type of training. But we will never forget our relationship with Fullerton School District, because you're our first, and they were my first that I came here. My first training was actually here out in the courtyard, and it's something that I'll never forget. So I wanted to just say that, my personal background, and on behalf of our CEO and all the instructors at KSL, we're looking forward to this coming school year for additional training and to help people be safe at school and in their personal lives. So thank you, Lori. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted me to mention.
PJ, you allow the group to step into one of your actual training sessions?
So it depends on what type of training that we have, but in what we have, it's usually about 4 hours, and it's separated into 3 sections. We teach teachers, again, that time and distance. We do lockdowns. And the number one thing that we really want to show, and you've seen that, to my knowledge and all the data that we've seen, a child hasn't been lost or killed inside of a classroom through a locked door. So lockdowns are super important. And that communication is incredibly important for everyone to know, and parents that are listening to this. Lockdowns are important, and I know they're tough to do that, but that's important to do that. In the office, we do that as well. We take one section and station into our office, and we also do it into the office. And then we also teach improvised weapons, just in case they have to attack someone who's coming in to attack them. And we teach them with tools that are improvised weapons that I won't mention today, but it's something that we do in our training. And it has been overwhelming. Popular, and 99% of the feedback that we've gotten through our evaluations, the number one word that we hear is we feel empowered. And that is what teachers usually say after they come to our training, because I think I feel that they trust us, that we're giving them good information, and there are no scare tactics coming in to try to scare anybody or do PowerPoints to make sure that we emphasize this point. We get people out of their seats in their classrooms, and we personally walk back to some teachers, especially special ed teachers, that, because they're close to my heart, how do we prepare students in the event of an active threat that's coming onto our campus? So generally that's part of our training, but in and of itself is just one part of the importance of doing emergency management training. We review emergency operation plans, and we also do site assessments of your school sites.
And I want to echo that. One of the things I will say about Knowledge Saves Lives, every time there's an event, I will call and I'll talk to the chief executive, Paul Lance, and he'll talk to me about what he's seeing, so that if there's lessons learned, if there's takeaways, we can look at what we think are some of the issues and see if we need to overlay some of those issues into our own internal safety plans. With safety, it's constantly evolving. you're not one and done. You're constantly checking your plan. And so having a partner like Knowledge Saves Lives and having the access and the expertise, they have almost 1,000 years of experience. I don't mean to date you, PJ, but they have about 1,000 years of experience on their team helping school districts across the district, including our high school district. So I feel really good about that. And our next partners is a city partner. And I'm proud to say that Lieutenant Tony Rios and Sergeant Eric Bridges are here tonight. They also drill with us when we do our emergency drills. So with that being said, Sergeant Eric Bridges oversees the SROs, that stands for School Resource Officers, for the high school district, and his team supports the elementary school district as well.
Thank you, Lori, and good evening. So my position with the Fulton Police Department is I act as the liaison between the police department and the elementary school district. I visit the campuses periodically throughout the school years. I'm on a first name basis with a lot of our principals and our assistant principals. And our administration staff is, I feel that they're comfortable enough to where if they need something or they have a concern or question, that they're comfortable enough to pick up the phone and just give me a call. And we have that relationship to where they can call me directly. They don't necessarily have to call over to the police department or go through dispatch or communications. They can call me directly. We have a regular sharing of protocols. Our officers, and especially our school resource officers, routinely go through mandated testing. We just had 40 hours of training last week that my SROs attended. And we also bring that information and that knowledge to the various campuses. We participate in drills. Just today, I was going over some drills, some impromptu drills with some of our patrol officers on some of the different campuses. And we have such a great relationship with the district to where it's an open door policy with them. Hey, you need to use our campuses, please feel free. And we took advantage of that just today. Key contact is up there. We have at the police department, we have full access to all of our campuses. We have keys readily available to us, so therefore we're not locked out of any campuses or any classrooms. So in the event of any emergencies, we don't have that issue. We can have access into those rooms. There, you see maps up there. We just did a new thing this year. We always had maps of all the different campuses and different school sites. But what we did this year, we took it a step further. And what we did is we took all of our maps of our schools and scanned them into our computer system. And what that does is allows our patrol officers, if our patrol officers have to respond to one of the schools in the event of an emergency, when that call pulls up on their screen, a map of the school will also pull up as well. And that's very vital for our patrol officers, being the fact that our patrol officers probably don't frequent the school campuses that often, so they're probably not as familiar with the layout of the schools. That new technique hopefully will better serve our patrol officers. We had talked about earlier about the Raptor program. It is a great program. We had just an incident recently at one of our campuses, and there was what we call a hit or an alert at one of the campuses, and the school immediately called. I went down there and assessed the situation. And long story short, the gentleman in question was not the gentleman that the alert was popping up on. However, he was delayed maybe about 10 or 15 minutes from going into the school and enjoying his daughter's program. But however, even though he was delayed and interrupted, he still thanked me and was glad that that system was in place. And he was more assured that it was a safe environment, a safe campus for not only his daughter, but other students alike. So those are the things that we do in the partnership that we have as the Fullerton Police Department with the Fullerton Elementary School District.
Again, I'd like to thank all of our presenters today. I know this was a long presentation, but again, to reiterate that this is a multi-layered system. Involves not just school staff and many different departments across the district, but also our community partners, Knowledge Saves Lives, and all of the organizations that work with us. Is there any questions from the board at this time?
Sure, I just wanted to, I guess, consider that SEL also is maybe covering some of the trauma that students might be feeling having to go through some of this training.
Yes, and Helene, would you like to address that? Or I can address it as well. So we really do find lessons that correspond to trauma, to situations that make students feel uncomfortable, what happens if there's a situation that makes them feel uneasy, and really training the staff that are providing the lessons, the social and emotional learning side, and then also if there's students that maybe because of something they've experienced in their past that have some trauma that it's especially hard for, we're prepared for that in advance, and we make sure we prepare those students. One of the things that I liked hearing was we work specifically with our special education staff. There are times that there are students who are on IEPs who are in our special education program, need a little extra preparation. And we make sure that we work with those students in advance because having a lockdown or going through a drill may be especially hard for them or for a student who's experienced trauma. And we really do try to identify and work with those students in advance.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, Nor, but I just want to mention for Knowledge Saves Lives, we only teach staff and teachers. We do not teach. We don't include our students inside of our training for that purpose as well. But we make it a point to make sure that at the school, the teacher is the parent, and they want to make sure that with that responsibility comes that ability and the trust relationship with that student to follow the direction. So I just want to make sure it's only for staff and students.
I guess just to follow up,
Staff.
We're gonna follow the Moms Demand Action home gun safety plan for parents to be aware. Is that going to be in time for this coming school year? Or?
Yes, that will be a time for this coming school year. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. This is reassuring.
Thank you.
I just want to thank everyone for the presentation. It was so thorough and broad, and we really appreciate it. I am hopeful that the particular video of the presentation will have its own spot on our website so that when school starts and at that point, families and staff are concerned about what do we really do for safety, they can poke it and watch it for a half hour and see that we have so many aspects covered and thoughtfully presented to reassure people in a very unpredictable world.
Yes, and we'll make sure that the video of this presentation as well is available on that parent safety site.
Thank you a lot.
So I wanted to kind of comment and then just make sure that hopefully the public and the parents that are listening now. So Rob, you touched on the parent information events that are going to be happening. I think that's one of the key things that as parents and as community members, we need to keep aware of like their reunification centers and places like kind of where to go if a natural disaster were to happen or something big would happen in our communities, knowing that, schools are kind of one of the biggest, lands or properties, usually around like a neighborhood. Example being at Woodcrest, they have a, 4-story, soft first story apartment complex that probably doesn't meet, the earthquake, whatever guidelines that may be. And, 275 units there, knowing that if a big earthquake were to hit, would really impact, knowing that the school is literally right next door to those apartment complexes. So getting that information out and just I guess parents and schools, sharing that information to making sure that they know kind of what that information sharing or what the resource would be for school sites in any community, right? Would be really important. So it'd be really interesting to see kind of what the plans are for some of those school sites on how they would, what role they would play as far as a resource for the community if a natural disaster were to happen, like you mentioned, fires or, floods. I mean, whatever it may be.
And if I can just jump onto that real quickly, one of the other things we're concerned about is if we have a natural disaster and we have parents who work outside of Fullerton and their children are at school and they need to get back and pick up their children. If there's a major earthquake, I don't know if any of you, probably dating myself, had been through some of the major earthquakes that we had here in Southern California. Freeway bridges were knocked out. Ways to get to and from cities were difficult. So these centers would also provide the ability for us to have a place to house children until their parents could be reunified with them. And that's another big component of really making sure that we can keep our children safe.
And say thank you for all the team pulling together to make this happen and to present this information to us. Very, very important. Lori, has anyone ever had a conversation with Lori about safety? If you have not, talk to Lori one day just ask her about safety. It's always fun to watch her, just wind her up and let her go. So thank you for pulling together this. It's wonderful to have people that are so passionate about what they do and so insistent upon making sure that we keep this district safe. Bringing social emotional learning and SEL into this as safety is very, very important for many reasons. Identifying students that may be going through a crisis and beginning to be, at risk of being a student who could, possibly trigger something is important, as well as having our children know, how to identify their own traumas. So thank you for making sure that that's part of the safety program, as well as internet safety. I think we talk about physical safety, we talk about emotional safety, but there's also internet safety too. Understanding that there's so much out there, more so now than ever before, that it's taunting our children, and they're going to get them if we don't take care of them. So making sure that our kids know what to look for and what to be aware of, and try and teach them and give them the tools so that they know how to react to that. Very, very important. The training for our parents, I think is that's awesome. Making sure that you get that scheduled as soon as you can and getting that calendar out to our parents, because as they get busy in life, we want to make sure we give everybody an opportunity to be able to be part of this. Because as we talk about drills and as we talk about being a parent and being prepared for your student coming home saying, oh my gosh, what they went through that day, and that trauma that they had to endure when they had a lockdown, I think is important to making sure that our parents know how to, and give them the tools on how to deal with their children when that happens. Very, very important. With our new website, might be another little topic on your speaker series to address our parent groups on how to navigate our new website, how to navigate what we have. And because as a community member and as a parent, I don't think that the first thing on our agenda is to sit down and look at our website, when it's new. So just giving them an opportunity that when, they have a meeting or if they have a special session, to just sit down and look at it and go through it with them and be that. So I would recommend that maybe we try and do something like that as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And great idea about putting that little safety piece on that website. So that's where you could start. So thank you guys for all that you've done, for the many, many years of serving. I look at Officer Rios over there and know that, when my kids were little itty bitty, because I'm old. Having him as our DARE officer, I remember that. And so I think that it's just important that we all come together for the benefit of our students and our community. And I think we're on the right road. I am very impressed with some of the stuff that you're bringing in with those trainings. So I think it's a work in progress. And so I agree. And I'm sure our board is just very appreciative of what you guys have been doing. So thank you.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Okay. On that note, I think we're going to take a 5-minute little personal necessity break. 7:21 board. Okay. Come back 7:21. Some of us don't listen though. There's always one rule breaker. I wonder who that is.
That's how you know we're a family.
Okay, we're going to reconvene. Now that we've done our big presentation, we're going to go back to our consent agenda. And I believe we do have an amendment to our item 11B. So is there anyone that wants to make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the altered consent agenda.
It's been
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda with the change to item 11B. Any discussion items? Anyone want to speak on anything? Of course. If you guys
Item A.
notice, this is the longest consent agenda ever.
In the universe.
We're in like triple alphabets.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen one. I've been here for a while. I don't think I've seen one that long. Yeah.
Well, A, which is the gifts. Our gifts are amazing, $112,500 because of gracious community people. And what can you say? Thank you isn't enough. They're making a huge difference in some of these schools. And these are schools different than we've pointed out earlier in the summer. So thank you guys. Thank you for your school foundations. Thank you for your parent commitment. Thank you for our community partners. You're really making a difference in our schools. I'd also like to pull up C, which is the list of the people in our district who got reimbursement for their courses. I always want to underscore that we're proud of them for taking classes and furthering their education. And it's an honor to provide payback for these 4 classified workers for the work they did. And then way at the other end is triple B, if I can get there.
It's a different one.
Triple B, I mean, oh my God, I've never heard of such a
Better than a
thing.
triple D, right?
Right. Gee, Anna, you did a great job typing. Triple B is to point out, this is really for the community people listening to our meeting, that we were able to do a wonderful master lease purchase through the hard work of our employees to sell our existing, almost outdated, tell me if that's, am I saying that right? Our existing laptops and replace them with a newer version and not cost us money. And so we really want to commend the ISS department and Mike McAdam for the work on and the creativity of doing this. And our students are way going to benefit from this. So thank you all. And last but not least, we have triple D, the very last thing. And it's really exciting. We have a school with a new name. Golden Hills Elementary School for Creative and Performing Arts. This has only been 20 years in the making. And we are so proud of the staff and Principal Neil Anderson for finally making it happen. And we hope that this school has the entire plan of Principal Anderson able to put in place within the next 2 years as he has dreamt it. Because what a great opportunity for our students, leading them into Ladera Vista School of the Arts. So congratulations, Golden Hill Elementary School, and we're proud of you.
Anyone else? Lots of stuff. All right, so all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Welcome, you guys are official. Okay, discussion action items. Dr. Hammond, is that you? Oh, yeah, that's you. It's the
Yes,
Dr.
that's
Hammett
me.
show.
Yes.
There you go.
It's that time of year where we have MOUs that we are bringing forward. So our first MOU this evening is action item A, which is a memorandum of understanding with our Fullerton Elementary Teachers Association regarding extracurricular stipends. This is an annual MOU that we bring forward that provides our teachers with stipends for doing activities above and beyond their school day. Items such as speech and debate, our FSD Fest, providing stage programs where our students are able to act out full-length musicals. And the teachers we negotiate every year with our teachers union to provide teachers with extra stipends for doing these activities.
So we're approving this.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the memorandum of understanding with the Fullerton Elementary Teachers Association regarding extracurricular stipends. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next.
Yes, item B is another memorandum of understanding with our Fullerton Elementary Teachers Association. And this is regarding instructional assistant support for TK, kindergarten, first grade, and second grade classrooms. Again, this is a renewal MOU. The only difference is language has been modified because there is now statute that that talks about the number of adults to students in the TK classrooms. So with the new 12-to-1 ratio, that supersedes what's written into this MOU, and as a result, that's the only change in this MOU.
Thank you.
I move to approve discussion item B.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the memorandum of understanding with the Fullerton Elementary School Teachers Association regarding IAs for TK, kindergarten, first and second grades. Any discussion?
How nice that we are going to be able to have TK throughout the district. This is so good for children, and it's also good for their families. So thank you all for the work you're doing to make this happen.
With a lower student ratio to teachers.
With a very
So,
low
yeah.
student ratio.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay.
Our next item is item C, which is approve a memorandum of understanding with the Fullerton Elementary Teachers Association regarding supporting response to intervention teachers through a lead RTI teacher. As you know, we have taken and used the learning or the ESSER money that we received to help support students through the pandemic, the most recent money that we're receiving from the state for learning recovery, and used RTI teachers that provide specific interventions to students in the areas of English language arts and math. With the number of RTI teachers we have now, we also are in the need of some support. There are sometimes students who need a little extra help in response to the RTI lessons, that maybe they need someone to come in and provide a little extra support, a little extra assessment to see what we can do. Also helping provide teaching and instruction and professional development to the RTI teachers so that they can do their best job. So this MOU provides that we would have lead RTI teachers that could provide direct support and help to the RTI teachers in their classrooms with their caseloads.
Now, are these teachers at every site or a few scattered around?
We have RTI teachers at every site.
Yes, but I meant the lead teachers.
The lead, they will be taking on a number of schools, usually anywhere from 4 to 5 schools. The idea being that they would spend a day a week in each one of the schools that they support.
Thank you for explaining.
Is there a motion?
I move to support C
I'll second.
for RTI teachers.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the memorandum of understanding with the Fullerton Elementary Teachers Association regarding supporting response to intervention teachers through a lead RTI teacher. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Item D is another memorandum of understanding with the Fullerton Elementary Teachers Association regarding independent study physical education. We have a number of students here in our district, a handful of students here in our district, that participate in sports on a semi-professional or highly competitive level, being nationally ranked. And they spend many, many hours at the pool, in the gym, other places, perfecting their sport. As a result, this provides that those students who are involved in that high level of sport can take PE through an independent study program in lieu of taking the PE course at their junior high school.
I move to approve item D.
I'll second that. Is it going to put excessive pressure on principals who have a bunch of kids on a traveling soccer team that they consider a huge elite team as opposed to a semi-professional team?
This has been our fourth year of doing this, and we have not seen a heavy burden on any one particular school. What we have generally seen is 2 or 3 students per junior high school that are involved. And it doesn't put a heavy burden on the actual administration, as we have a district coordinator who coordinates the program, and then we have district PE teachers that are actually supporting the students that are in the independent study program.
Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the memorandum of understanding with the Fullerton Elementary Teachers Association regarding independent study physical education. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Right.
Keep going.
Still going. Item E, this is an annual item we bring to the board, which is a declaration of need for fully qualified educators for the 2022-2023 school year. There's a time that we reach in the school year where we may have a teacher who may have to leave their classroom. They may leave for a number of reasons. And then we are looking for a teacher in the middle of the school year, or at a time when it's not the best time to recruit new teachers because the education programs aren't turning them out. As a result, we sometimes bring teachers in who are not fully qualified yet, but are working towards attaining credential. And to do that, we have to inform the state that this is the number of the county and the state, that these are the number of teachers that we project that we may have to bring in. We make the number a little higher so we can err on the side of caution. But we do know that in areas, especially like special education, or perhaps teachers who need a little extra certification and working with English learners, there are times that we have to hire teachers that don't have their full credentialing yet.
I move to approve item E.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the declaration of need for fully qualified educators for the 2022 and 2023 school year. Any other questions and clarifications? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay. All right. Changing of the guard.
Okay, item F, this is actually, we bring this annually because when we have personnel that changes, they are signers on various things at the district, we need to update that list. And so that's what this represents here, are the most up-to-date employees and management who are signers.
Right. Okay. Is there a motion?
I move to approve item F, adopt resolution number 22/23-01, authorizing designated district personnel to sign various documents by signature to be kept on file by the Orange County Superintendent of Schools for the Fullerton School District, districts 22, 40, and 48.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. What Aruni said. Any questions? All right. All those in favor of the change, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay.
This next one, item G, it's a much shorter list. This is for the electronic approval of vendor claims and vendor orders. And it has 2 names on. I believe it has the interim director, Damien Ibarra, and the director, Mike McAdam.
Okay.
I move to approve item G, adopt resolution number 22/23-02, authorizing the electronic approval of vendor claims / orders for the Fullerton School District, Districts 22, 40, and 48.
Can't think of better people to be signing. I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution 2223-02. Any other questions? Any clarifications? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay.
In grade school, they achieved O's in penmanship. Great signature.
You can read their signature. All right. Okay.
Good evening. We have another guard change.
Well, we do.
Oh,
Item H is to approve the new application for a CDS code for My Connect Academy program, which provides the virtual and homeschool instruction for Fullerton students starting the not upcoming school year, but the school year after, which is 2023-2024. We do have Principal Robin Manchow in the house to answer any questions you may have regarding this item.
why? Why do you want to change the name?
Oh, no, they're making it official.
Well, actually, we're not changing any names. We're just creating a new entity where we're bringing into one household both our digital and virtual program as well as our homeschool program, so that as one unit, we can move forward with providing a cohesive school of opportunity and choice for those students. So you guys approved the name change at a
Right.
previous meeting. So this is just moving forward with becoming our own entity and giving those opportunities for learning choice for the parents.
Great. Right. Do we have a
So
motion?
this is because the virtual was one entity and the homeschool was another, correct?
Yes, they were
And
both
now-
two entities. It was My Distance Learning Academy, so My DL Academy, and then we have the homeschool program, My FSD Academy. Two will come into under the umbrella of My Connect Academy, and currently it stands in the district as a program, but this will allow My Connect Academy to be its own school.
And you can open up your own PTA.
Oh, right, absolutely.
I move to approve item H.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the new application for a CDS code for the My Connect Academy program to provide virtual and homeschool instruction for the Fullerton School students starting in the 2023-2024 school year. Any other comments?
No.
You're gonna have a mascot? New mascot and everything, huh? Oh.
Oh, yes.
All
All the
those in
bells and
favor?
whistles of a school.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Oh, aye.
opposed? Any opposed? Can't wait to see what that mascot's going to be.
It's
Oh,
a phoenix.
That's right. Okay.
So I also have the next item.
Mhm.
Item I is to approve the expanded learning opportunities program we named Encore for the upcoming school year 2022-2023. We have offered the plan as an attachment. It mirrors the presentation that our Ed Services team did at the last board meeting to explain our Encore and after school programs that will begin shortly. We have Director Jason Chong also here to answer any questions you have.
I do have a quick question though. When you experience or see something great and you want to repeat performance, what would you say?
Encore.
Yes.
Encore.
That's why you have it.
I'll move to approve the expanded learning opportunity program Encore plan for the 2022 and 2023 school year.
I'll second that.
Okay,
You always
it's
got to support Jason.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the expanded learning opportunities plan for 2022-2023 school year. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Would love to hear updates on that one as it goes on. What the enrollment is, what the excitement is. This is going to be really a great way to engage our kids after the school day. So thank you.
While Jason is there, Jason, the chess, is that going to be at every campus, every K-6 campus, right?
Yes, we'll have a rotation where every school will get to experience this at a trimester's length.
Awesome. Exciting.
They're all going to challenge you. You're back.
I'm back. You thought
We
you were rid of
missed
me,
you.
but I keep coming back.
No.
We missed you.
So our next item is from our administrative reports, and it's a first read of our board policy 5030 on student wellness. Our California School Boards Association regularly provides us with information on updates to our board policies that are required because of changes to law or changes to regulations. There's been a lot of movement at the state level regarding student social emotional learning, student social emotional health, and you will see the changes that we've made to the board policy 5030 reflect those changes regarding student social emotional learning and social emotional wellness. So those are the primary changes. There's no action tonight, but as you read through the board policy, if you see anything that you have questions on or that you'd like to see changed, modified, or added to, please let us know, and we'll be able to work on that.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. Possible board member requests for future items. Anybody? No. Okay. Seeing none. Oh,
Actually, President Berryman, can we get an update on TK and how I guess the programs are coming along at each school?
Yes, and would you like that as part of the communique or through a board?
Whatever is easier. for
Superintendent's report, perhaps, maybe at next meeting?
staff. Sure.
Perfect.
okay. Perfect. Anybody else? All right. Seeing none, I'm going to adjourn this meeting. There you go.
Thank you, Dr.
Take on
Hammett.
your evenings.